The year is 2012. You sit down on the couch as your new friend begins playing a show you have never seen before. There is a tall, lanky, adorable man with a fluffy mop of hair, a sonic screwdriver, and a time-traveling blue police box. You have just been introduced to Doctor Who. Without warning, you have a brand new obsession. You binge-watch all the episodes starting with the 2005 reboot, you attend Comic-Cons, draw fan art, and ask for your very own sonic screwdriver for Christmas. You are enthralled by the vivid and imaginative storytelling that plays out before you. And then, you grow up. You fail to keep up to date with the newest episodes. Years go by, and you move on. Until Disney Plus adds the newest iteration onto their streaming service 12 years later. You and your podcast partner decide to do another old versus new episode, and you are sucked back into the swirling time vortex that is the Doctor Who fandom. It's going to be fantastic. So Alonze and Geronimo, welcome back to Effing It Up. Welcome back, Feral listeners. Here we are talking about Doctor Who. And Laurel.
I just got lost in your eyes, that's all.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Don't flatter me. Don't pretend there's something here. Don't you disappoint me like that.
Sorry. I was just debating sitting here and staring at you and seeing how long you would just
How long I would put up with that nonsense.
Put up with it. Anyway,
I got a short fuse.
I thought about it, but then I was afraid you'd discover you don't need me for the podcast. Mine's actually, this is better.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. I could clearly not do this without you.
Anyway, welcome back, feral listeners.
Welcome back. Let's get feral.
Let's get feral.
Should we just jump into it?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of backstory do we really need what kind of background do we really need for Doctor Who?
I mean, yeah, like what needs to be said? Everyone who has existed on the internet knows about Doctor Who.
Yes. And either
timey-wimey nerd.
Wibbly wobbly,
yes.
timey-wimey stuff.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey, blimey-limey.
I really...
Is that racist?
What do you mean is that racist?
Okay, cut this out, but isn't limey like a derogatory term for a British person? Maybe not.
Well, now I have to Google it.
I'm so sorry.
This is so funny. It says... It's like a British sailor thing.
Oh, okay.
So limey, from the lime juice used by English sailors to prevent scurvy, is low class and insulting unless used with jocular affection.
Okay, so it's fine then. Anyway, I'm just like excited to talk about this with you, like compare the old to the new.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Do you want to real quick, because really I went over my relationship to Doctor Who in the intro.
Yes.
Do you want to give me a quick rundown? How old were you when you watched Doctor Who? How deep into the obsession were you?
I was very deep into the obsession.
Yeah.
Like I just told you before we turned the camera on, I tried to make my own sonic screwdriver. Didn't get very far because I didn't know how to do things. But I did pick up some junk. Anyway.
We could have been friends.
We would have been friends.
Waiting for the stupid truck to go
by. Truck.
Stupid truck.
Goodbye, sexy truck.
It's not sexy, it's stupid. Anyway, we could have been friends so much sooner.
I know. If we'd only met, alas.
Disappointing.
Could have gone through our nerdy teenage years together instead of just our nerdy adult years. The first episode I ever watched was 11's appearance.
Same.
Oh man, I just fell in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's still my favorite Doctor. I mean, they're all great, really, but...
Something about Matt Smith.
He has this childlike glee, but then they pair it with this, like, extreme, like,
edgelord
darkness. Yeah, the ability to access this, like, really terrifying aspect to the character, and it's just like, I love it.
It's a testament to how good Matt Smith is.
Yeah. I had a really sobering moment recently this year when I realized
he was in Game of Thrones.
No, I realized I'm older than Matt Smith was when he started playing the Doctor. Then I went and cried into my pillow.
How old was Matt Smith when he started playing the Doctor?
Yes, 26.
26. Oh my gosh. We're wasting our lives.
That's exactly how I felt. I was like, and also I was like, how is he so talented at that age? It's just infuriating. But anyway.
Hello, look at the empire we have built. Just you and me and our 2 microphones.
Yeah, but I couldn't give a stirring monologue to a CGI sun monster.
You know
with
what?
any sort of believability.
You know what? I think you could if you put your mind to it.
Yeah. So anyway, I started watching Matt Smith, fell in love with the show, fell in love with Amy Pond and the 11th Doctor and his stupid fez and just like the whole shtick. I loved River's song. I just like, I wish I could go back to like how I felt when I first watched that show.
Yeah.
It just hit me right in the right teenage, like, you know, a little angsty, but wonderful.
This is a good segue to start talking about plot.
Yes.
And by plot, I mean just my initial reactions when I first started watching the episodes.
Yeah.
So for this week, if you didn't listen to the intro, I don't know how you would so accurately skip ahead to be able to get to this point where we finally stop yapping.
We have faith
and
in
start talking.
Our cathonic listeners.
But we are doing old versus new, so we will be talking about the first episode of the 2005 reboot. So the first episode starring Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor, and we will be talking about the first episode of the most recently released season, which stars Nchuti Gatwa as the Doctor. And we're doing our best with the name pronunciation.
Maya's. I'm planning to pronounce it incorrectly on purpose, and then that way no one can blame me.
No, you cannot do that to that beautiful man.
Yeah, he is pretty beautiful, but maybe he's too beautiful. He needs to be brought down a peg or 2.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well we'll come back to you.
We'll come back. I've been differentiating the shows because it's kind of confusing because they're both reboots. I've just been in my head calling them the BBC and the Disney shows.
Yes.
That's like my mental.
Yeah. Technically the new one is BBC though.
Yeah, but
that's true. It's like saying, you know, Marvel.
Marvel asterisk.
Asterisk.
Yeah. Wow, Mickey at this point is just like the third member of our podcast. Oh, man.
I'll just start with my initial response when watching. I'll just differentiate by saying 9 and 15.
Okay. I couldn't remember what number Nchuti was, so.
Yeah.
Is he 15?
Yep.
I'm making a note.
Yep, 9 and 15. So that's how we'll differentiate between the 2 episodes as we're talking. But as I started watching 9, I wanted to text you so badly because I was like, I hate the physical response I had to the opening credits.
Oh.
As the TARDIS is swirling through the vortex, I was sitting there going, I have like chills across my body. I'm like, I have been transported back to the year 2012.
Yeah.
To this time in my life. I've never felt like such a nostalgic, like, full body
you time traveled.
Yanking myself back into. Swear to God, Lorraine.
I love this show so much. Like, Michelle and I watched 9's pilot episode together for the podcast. We rewatched it, and I was just like having such a good time. And it's so low budget, and I just love it that way. Like, to me, the best Doctor Who is the cheap budget Doctor Who.
It's you're not wrong.
I love it. Anyway,
in terms of plot, the setup for number 9, I think is.
I got the high points here if you want me to.
Yeah, I would love for you to take over.
Introduction of the main characters. So obviously Rose, who is a working class, like.
Yeah.
I love Rose, but we'll talk about her more in character.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mysterious doctor who appears.
Mm-hmm.
Who is he? What's he want? Then Rose, the working class hero that we all deserve and love. Her boyfriend gets turned into plastic. absolutely my favorite part of the whole show. The bit where he's like, honey, sweetie, dear, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. Funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire
I was like,
life.
that's how you hear relationships.
It is.
In your head.
And he's got that, like, that, like, face.
I liked the, I really like the aspect of Clive, the internet stalker. Like, it was fun to have Rose meet the doctor and then have her talk to a conspiracy theorist and realize that there is a phenomenon.
Yeah, but then she leaves being like, okay, he is crazy.
She's like,
he believes in time travel and
like,
immortality.
what?
And then,
And then she's like,
she and the doctor kind of team up and are a chaotic duo. And they face
the living plastic.
The living plastic, the nesting consciousness, and together through their chaos and ridiculousness, they defeat the nesting consciousness. And that's kind of the plot points, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
I was like, let's move on.
I was like, perfect.
We're done.
We're done. That's plot. Moving on to characters.
Covered.
Moving on to
and we love it, and it's good. A+.
Oh wait, shoot! Hang on, we got to do we got to do the plot for the other one.
Oh, true. Well, I hit the high points of that one too. So.
Go, Laurel.
Boom.
This is your time to shine. Thank you.
Okay, so we are introduced yet again to a blonde woman because we love blonde women. Sorry.
Someone does.
But this one's called Ruby, not Rose, so it's a different 4-letter name starting with R. So she's different.
Ruby Sunday.
No, but I do love Ruby Sunday a lot. And she is a different character than Rose. Anyway, we're introduced to Ruby. Who are her parents? We don't know. And there is a baby. Save the baby is the plot. And then goblins and a goblin ship. And then all of a sudden it's a wonderful life. Kind of like Ruby doesn't exist and everyone's depressed apparently without her. And then the doctor straight up kills the Goblin King. I wasn't ready for how graphic that was.
I was like,
and then that's the end.
Perfect.
Yeah. I think that covers the plot of both episodes.
Great job. God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. Going into characters.
Yay.
Let's talk about the characters in 9.
Oh, man. I've been blathering too long, so it's your turn now.
So, you mentioned Rose. Billie Piper as Rose is a flawlessly beautiful, as you say, working class queen.
She is a working class queen.
And I did not give her enough credit the first time I watched it. Like, I don't think I recognized just how, like, spunky and likable she was. You
have to be working class to appreciate the fellow working class.
How quickly this woman goes with the flow. She's just like, yeah.
Oh my word.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Whatever.
Whatever.
I mean, he did save her life. He did save her life from the plastic mannequins, but also that's one of my favorite moments of Rose is when the plastic mannequins are walking towards her and she's like, all right, I get the joke. It's not funny. Like, whose idea is this? But you can see she doesn't really believe it's a joke.
Yeah.
I think that's such an interesting moment because she's scared.
Yes.
But she doesn't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
I just think it's really cool because she's not quite ready to jump to living plastic yet, but she knows something isn't right.
She's like, something isn't right, and then she's in the elevator. She's like, yeah, it's got to be students, right?
Yeah, right.
She's like, I mean, you know, they do dumb stuff. It's the only thing they can... What else would it be? And then he's like, oh yeah, good thought. It's not that.
Wrong.
Wrong.
The doctor loves when people are wrong around him. I did make a note, and this was actually on 15's show, but I said, no one in the Doctor Who world, and this applies to both, no one in the Doctor Who world can be bothered. And that's so true of, like, all the characters, like, oh, plastic mannequins walking about? Oh, well, okay, it's weird. Or, like...
so true.
When Ruby brings the doctor into her house, and the mom's like, who's he? And she's like, the doctor. And she's like, okay, I guess there's a doctor in our house, alright.
It's like, oh, you're saying the baby needs a doctor?
Yeah, right? It's like, everyone's just like, whatever happens, they just go with it. And
yes.
I don't know if that's Doctor Who fantasy, or if that's just English people.
The world may never know.
English people, weigh in, write us, tell us, is that how you would react
to the doctor?
To the living plastic.
To be be fair,
I feel like it's true.
To
They were
be
just
fair,
like, "All right."
when they open their hands and start just open firing on people.
Michelle brought up an excellent point. She was like, why were they outfitted with those to begin with? That's never answered, but
We don't know why these plastic mannequins, the living plastic, is packing.
Why is there
Packing
some
heat.
secret other plot line going on? Like, who's creating these mannequins and spreading them around with... Anyway. What I love about Rose is she's so, like, messy. Like, her room looks like a real person's room.
Yes.
Not yours, but... It looks like my room.
Your room is beautiful.
Thank you.
I love your room.
But
Ral let me see her room.
Yeah, it is a mess.
It was very exciting. It's like being in the library.
It is like it might just be a library. But anyway, there's the scene where she like wakes up after her job's burned down and her mom's like, there's no point getting up. Haven't got a job to go to. And she's just like, ugh. And she just falls back into bed. Just such a mood. Rose is such a mood.
Rose, like, the girls who get it, get it.
The girls who get it. Rose
and we
is one of
get
those girls.
Rose.
We get Rose.
Rose gets us.
We don't deserve her.
I think it took me a little bit with Rose because I was like, because I watched 11, I was like, she's not Amy Pond.
Yeah.
Because
Awesome.
there is something about the magnetism and like the meanness of Karen Gillan.
Yes,
as Amy
I
Pond.
do love that. See, most of the Doctor's companions are very kind.
Yes,
and that's not Amy's strong point.
Amy is
one of my favorite.
Maybe Amy's kind, but she's not a nice person.
One of my favorite Amy moments. This is the episode where they're caught between two worlds and they're not sure which is the dream world and which is the real world. And there are like these old people who are also like monsters coming for them. Mm-hmm. And there's this old woman chasing after pregnant Amy and domestic Rory. And Rory's like, I don't know if I can hit her. Like, she's an old woman. And Amy spins around and she's like, whack her! I think that sums up Amy perfectly. But it just kills me every time.
You're not wrong.
She does not hesitate.
Amy, I'm gonna have to believe this. Amy doesn't give a f***.
She does not.
Rose gives a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly. Rose cares.
Rose cares
just
deeply.
Like the Doctor says about her. That's what I love about you, Rose Tyler. The domestic approach.
Anyway, does that bring us to the Doctor?
Should we do all of... I feel like we should do all of 9's episode characters and then do... Because it'll be too confusing if we do Rose and then Ruby, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Just confirming. Cause
yeah.
I didn't know which Doctor, Which Doctor?
Who Doctor?
Who Doctor? Yes, the Doctor. What do you think of the Doctor, number 9?
Christopher Eccleston is an underrated and an underappreciated king.
He is.
He is. Let me. What? I wrote a lot of
notes about him.
I just wrote Christopher fucking Eccleston, and it's really fun with like just some of his moments in this episode with like him kind of as an action hero is how he's initially introduced. He's wearing the leather jacket, like he's the cool Doctor.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But he's also the one who, again, is still recovering from the war, as are all the other...
He hasn't recovered yet.
He'll never recover. All the iterations of the Doctor are still recovering from the war.
Yeah.
But he's just so fun. And he's so lighthearted, and then he has, like, his serious moment, and you're like...
Yeah.
He walks that line really well.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
I cracked up at the go enjoy your lovely beans on toast or whatever it is you do, get out of here.
He's so rude. I love it. That's one of my favorite things about 9 is he just like he's kind of above humanity in a way. Like the two most recent Doctors are very much like we're the human versions of the Doctor. And I kind of miss the like I'm the Doctor and I love humans but I'm not one.
Yeah.
You
like
know?
9 and Peter Capaldi, so 9 and 13. really had, like...
We love people, but we're better than them.
Yeah.
Like, they're so trivial.
They're like, oh, you're so silly.
Yeah, they're silly. They're tiny.
Silly little people.
Silly little baby human race is kind of the attitude, and I just think it's great when his scorn leaks out a little bit.
It's like, why would you bloody do that?
Yeah. See, Jody and Nchuti's doctors would never. They're just, they just want to be one of the people now.
Yep.
They want to go where the people are.
Which after, you know, how many years of losing your companions to terrible tragedy?
Yeah, no.
Like,
and you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. That would be boring.
Yes.
So I'm not begrudging it.
Yes.
But I do like
how rude he is.
I do enjoy it from the line.
He's so sassy.
He's so just like superior.
He's a sassy Time Lord.
Yeah.
And I'll say one last thing about 9 that I love before I let you talk about 9.
Yeah.
But his line at the end where he like is talking to the living plastic, and right off the bat they show you exactly who the doctor is in the first episode, and he says, "I'm not here to kill it. I'm here to give him a chance."
Yes. But he's willing to kill it if it comes down to that, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because they kind of go back and forth on the doctor's character a little bit, whether he's willing to kill or not. Depending on who's writing an episode, it seems to change a little bit. But I think it makes sense. Like, if you're choosing to wipe out the human race, and this is the only option you leave me, then he's not naive. Yeah. Like, he's gonna come with a plan B.
It's kind of, it always gave the energy of, like, not to compare it to Lewis and his Jesus lion, but, like, whenever they would say he's not a tame lion.
Oh, Lewis.
Yeah.
That Lewis.
Yeah.
The Christian Lewis.
You're like,
we were still in the TV world. I was like, what?
You were like the Jesus lion? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, man.
Anyway, tell me your thoughts about 9.
I thought that his first line is so characteristic of him. Like, you know how that you know, introducing a character in the purest essence of who they are? Absolutely did that with him. Because he's having fun, but he's also, like, we're in danger of our lives. And his first line is, run! You know, it's so good. I think that's awesome. I wrote, the doctor is always having fun, except when he's not. And he's such a genius, except when he's not. And I think that sums him up pretty well. And I love when he and Rose are together and his, like, intelligence seems to just get lower and lower. The bit where it's like, what? What is it? What? One of the best doctor moments. Oh, and I guess for all the Whovians, people out there who aren't Whovians, it's the scene where he needs, like, to find a really big circle to be the antenna, and he's standing in front of the London Eye, and Rose is just staring at it, and he doesn't understand what she's looking at. He's like, it must be invisible!
And she's like,
It's funnier that she doesn't have any dialogue, and she's just like, you idiot.
She's like, maybe just look again.
I know, the whole, like, modern trope about the one brain cell and they take turns using it, that's very much Rose and the Doctor.
It's, oh my gosh, it's so true.
And it's so fun to watch. It's fun that he's not always the know-it-all.
Yes.
Sometimes he misses the obvious.
Alright, so now we're going to jump into talking about Companion and Doctor Number 15.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the Companion, Ruby Sunday. I was, like, writing my notes as I was watching the episode, so with 9, it's like I kind of knew where things were going, but with this one, I'm, like, watching it for the first time.
Oh, it was your first time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I said was, I was like, Ruby is a little cutie patootie. I said, it's not her fault that I think they made her backstory just she's being bullied by gremlins her entire life.
Okay, but I don't think that is her backstory.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay, I was going to say.
But that was just my initial impression.
What you thought, yeah. Because they did I agree, because they made it kind of look like that at first.
Yeah.
But that's not her deal.
I did say with Ruby, I was like, I kind of miss when, like, because I felt like they were setting it up to be kind of like the thing, like, where, you know, Rose Tyler was, like, the bad wolf, and, like, Amy Pond had the whole thing where it's like, pond,
yeah,
buzzword, pond, like, And then Clara was arguably the least, I don't know how to say it, like the least grounded of the companions, because it was like her backstory was so tied to the Doctor, kind of.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if they were setting Ruby up to be if she was going to be.
I like Clara, but it's kind of true. She almost doesn't exist outside of the Doctor, and that's just in the nature of her backstory.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, interesting.
But what I liked about Rose when I watched it back for the first time, like you said, Rose is the working class queen. Like, she's just a normal girl.
She's a girl who gets it, like you say.
So I wasn't sure, like, I really liked Ruby, but I was like, there's a lot of, like, whimsy and, like, a lot of, like, they're setting up a lot of mystery around her. And I'm like, Rose, they didn't really have to do that. They just were like, here's a girl. Just doing her thing. But with Ruby, it's like...
That's true. They almost don't do companions that are just people anymore. It's all got to be like a mysterious backstory.
It's all got to be.
And I actually don't mind. I like a mysterious backstory, so.
I wasn't mad at it. I was just kind of like, oh.
But it does make
it's been a long time since they.
It makes it feel a little bit less. It's just a different flavor. It is a different flavor. Because the Rose, like, just a regular girl who's whisked away from her boring, normal life into this magical world of exploration. And, and, like, all of time is available to her suddenly. It speaks to that sort of, like, escapism for us. Because we're like, I want to get whisked away from my boring life. Yeah. But we don't identify with someone who's, like, got this mysterious backstory or potentially isn't even human depending on where they go with Ruby's character. Like, we don't know. Yeah.
I'm like, I definitely don't resonate as much with a hot orphan. Yeah. Right. Who's being haunted by gremlins.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Rose feels like an every girl in a way. And not in a bad way, but in a way, like, you see parts of yourself in her. Yeah. But I don't see much of myself in Ruby.
No, but tell me about your opinions about Ruby, because I think Ruby. She's got so much character, and I really like the girl who's playing her, too.
Absolutely. I wrote she has spirit and heart, which is kind of lame, but it's true. And she has a very much, like, she's going through it, but she'll put on a smile and soldier on. It's kind of, like, her whole vibe. Yes. Sometimes for good, and sometimes maybe she should let her facade down a little bit, it seems like, but... All right. And then tell me what you think about the 15.
I love him.
You just like him because he's hot.
He is very hot. But also, he's so cute.
He's cute.
He's so whimsical.
Yeah, and he's whimsical.
It was like, there's always been that fear of, like, because I think people get attached to the idea of the Doctor, and they get attached to a certain actor playing a Doctor, so it is a difficult role to inherit.
It's a tough, thankless job.
But I've been seeing, so I haven't had the desire to go and watch Doctor Who in years. Like, I know, again, I kind of fell out of, like, touch with it, but then the trailers started dropping. Yeah. With, like, Ruby and 15, and I was like, wait a minute. I was like, this looks...
Like, is the magic back?
Yeah. Like, especially with his 15's performance, like, I'm like, okay, this is really, like, what I remember the Doctor being. Yeah. And I was like, yes, does it now include him dancing around in a kilt and a white tank? Yes, but you know what? I've grown up.
See, that's the problem with the new Doctor, is he knows he's cute. Yeah. I liked it better when 11 was bumbling around, and every time a woman made the moves on him, he didn't know what to do with it. I thought that was funnier. I like that he also is sometimes rude as well, but he, like you said, he has that really, like, gleeful... just, like, joyous energy. Yes.
And his
so fun.
And I really think his rudeness is more, like, not reading the room because he's not human, which I think is such a good balance.
It makes sense. Yeah. And I just love that he and Ruby have, like, I've been watching the new show as it comes out.
I didn't know this. I didn't know you were doing this.
Yeah. And I was worried they were going to do, like, a flirtatious thing between him and Ruby, because with the first episode, you can't quite tell.
Because they have, I will argue, they have electric chemistry.
Yeah.
Like, it is really
Yeah.
good, whether it's romantic or otherwise. Like,
yes, yeah. But it doesn't seem like they're going in a romantic direction. They have just, like, really, like, good friend, like, pals to the end, ride or die kind of energy, which I'm happy for. That's what I want.
That's what you want.
That's what I want. Feed me that. Nom nom nom.
Nom nom nom. Laurel's happy as a clam.
I'm happy as a clam. Wait, I just want to talk about one more character I love from the new show, Cherry, the grandma. She's so funny. Literally, any scene she was in, I was just happy to be watching. Like, I liked this new episode. It was fun. It was a fun time and everything, but I still love 9 way more. Like, it was just more of a silly, fun romp.
Oh, yeah.
This new one is so much more cinematic and dramatic and...
Yes.
Almost in a way that doesn't speak to me as much as, like, the cheesy...
Crunchy.
Hocus pocus.
Yes.
Like, we're just dumb kids doing a, dumb old time and it's funny,
Yes.
in a way. But, anytime that... Dang it, I just forgot her name. Cherry.
Yeah.
Anytime Cherry was on the screen, I was like, I could just watch an hour long of her.
Yep.
Did you want to move on to Atmosphere, or...?
I would love to move on to Atmosphere.
Sweet. Back to Dr. 9.
Yeah, I think the main thing I wanted to mention was just... Because I think this goes with Atmosphere a little bit, but, like, I could have mentioned it in character too, but 9 and Rose have wonderful chemistry. Like, I don't know if it's just, like, you can't not have chemistry with Billie Piper.
Honestly, I think you're right. She
Yeah.
just seems so delightful.
An
and
absolute
she's such
angel.
a good actress, too. Like, I would never... Okay, this is going to sound kind of rude, but I'm going to say it anyway. I would never have guessed she started out as a singer, because she seems like...
Like, she had
Like she was born to be an actress.
Always been in acting, yeah.
And I don't mean to disparage singers.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes when you don't have the background or the experience, and you go straight from singing to a different type of performing, it takes you a while to find your legs there.
But she's just naturally talented.
Oh, love her.
I love the moment of, like, the tension and the build-up kind of 9 then going, like, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna get out of here. And then he kind of just is quiet for a minute, and then he goes, you can come with me?
I know, he's so, like...
He's so, like, sheepish about it. Like, I guess whatever, if you want.
He's
like,
gotta be cool.
Yeah. And then, like, you just see Rose, like, she just, like, slowly starts, like, beaming from ear to ear, and then Mickey's like,
God dang it, Mickey!
grabs onto her and goes, God, no! She's like, yeah, no, I best stay here. And then TARDIS disappears. And then the TARDIS comes back.
So heartbroken when she says no. Poor Doctor.
But then he comes right back in and he's like, by the way, this time travels. Just wanted you to have all the facts. And then she's like, basically shoves Mickey and is like, you know what?
She flings him into the sunset.
He yeets him into
cartwheeling away over the horizon.
Yeets him into the gutter. And she's like,
as she should.
She's like, thanks, bye.
Bye. Good for you, Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And the Doctor then, in his attempts to impress this pretty woman he's just met, decides to take her to the destruction of her own planet.
Yeah, he's like,
class move, Doctor.
He's like, yeah, this is his last day.
He's so dumb. It's like one of those he's
like,
an alien type moments. Because, like, in the episode where they think Mickey's dead, and he's like, what, you're still upset about it? Why do you keep talking about it? He is so annoyed. It's so funny. Honestly, he's the worst sometimes.
It's so funny. Yeah, all my notes are just out of order. But you were talking about, like, the quality of the filmmaking.
Yes.
It's so crunchy and early 2000s.
So early 2000s. So low budget. And
you're right, it's so good.
So fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. Maybe we lost something by putting all that money into it.
Like,
it almost has this, like, student film quality to
it. It does! It's so, like, It's rough to look at. I won't lie.
No,
It's
right.
like,
There's this one scene where they just walk for like 20 seconds.
and they have the worst music playing in the background. Like it's a
Which is so funny because every once in a while, like, they'll have the most beautiful, gorgeous music hit you out
Yes.
of nowhere, and you're like, that's Murray Gold over there.
And then
just working up a freaking banger.
and then
majestic.
all of a sudden, and I'm like, could we not? Could we? I'd rather be quiet. I'd rather be dead silent right now.
That's actually interesting. Like, I feel like when we talk about atmosphere, we just need to compare the two in a way. And when it comes to the music, I was so excited when I heard Murray Gold was getting back. I don't know if I'm saying the name correctly. I don't even know if he's a man or a band or what.
Yeah.
But I definitely noticed, and it really bothered me with the Jodie era, the music was just bad.
Yeah.
Like, it had no heart to it.
Yes.
And I really miss that. Like, that song that plays when Eleven talks to the sun god thing. So good. Or, like, yeah, when Eleven, like, Eleven's theme, or like, Gallifrey's theme.
Amy's
or, like,
theme.
Amy's theme. Martha's theme is a good one. The
so good. Yep.
So good. Anyway, so, like, all of that was missing. And
Yes.
they would just play the same, like, neutral sci-fi song over all the scenes. And it didn't fit
the
thematically.
Mood.
It didn't fit the mood.
That's
Thank
distressing.
you. I really hated that. So I was so excited when I heard Murray Gold was coming back, and I'm very glad.
Mm-hmm.
The music is so much better.
I will say,
they play it. What? What are you about to say?
I hate the new intro.
Oh, okay. I don't mind the new intro, but they play the music too loud, like the ambient music.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm like struggling to hear what the people are saying, or it even like kills the mood a little bit instead of enhancing it because the nuances of the actors' deliveries are being drowned out.
Yes. While we're on that route.
Yeah, I was like, that's weird.
Can I just say, talking about the new one, real quick.
Yeah.
From the bottom of my heart, the singing goblin. That made me furious.
Why?
That was the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen in Doctor Who, and that's saying a lot.
The worst thing I've ever seen in Doctor Who is definitely the Eye Gunk episode, but fine, that's valid. The Goblin Singer is a valid.
I was so bad. That took me immediately out of the episode. I was like, oh, my suspension of disbelief gone.
It took me out too.
Yeah.
It did.
It was so weird. If it had been, like, I could have handled a little singing goblin. Like, the goblins were really silly, but, like, they were kind of borderline. I was like, oh, whatever, okay. New Doctor. And then suddenly...
Silliness. Yeah, like, the plastic people weren't silly.
The plastic people were silly in, like, a different way.
In a different way. The garbage can eating Mickey and then burping was silly in a different way.
Yes. Don't pretend like you don't agree with me.
I want you to get your rant, then I'll share my opinion.
Well, the goblin would have been fine if it actually, like, sang like a goblin.
Yeah.
Like, it suddenly there was a
what does a goblin sing like?
A goblin sings like,
we're gonna eat the baby, we're gonna feed it to the king,
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right.
Instead
That's
of, like,
amazing.
Instead of, a baby, you're gonna get eaten. I was like,
Maya, you're so right. The voice definitely took me out.
It was awful.
It was just a modern pop singer.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was nothing goblin about it.
It was so terrible. And it was just a weird baby eating song.
I know.
I was just deeply uncomfortable.
It was, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I really enjoyed the goblin song. But you're so right. You're so right that, like, the voice was entirely wrong. Like, it really took me out. It's almost like getting slapped in the face.
Yeah.
Just the voice itself is that weird.
Just to compare
just
it.
Anachronistic in a way. I just feel like, what did that singer feel like recording that song about eating the baby? Like, if I was just like, I wonder if they felt so weird.
I felt weird listening to it, so I hope they did feel weird.
Honestly, it was one of my favorite parts of the episode, but you're valid to hate it.
Sometimes I just don't. I love you so much. Sometimes I don't fully trust your opinion. because of the things
This
you
is
say.
just because of the Space Chimps episode. When will you get over that?
The Space Chimps episode, the Hershey's chocolate, that was my favorite.
Okay, alright. Bring up the... Hershey's chocolate is good. Well, you call yourself a Pennsylvanian? Shame.
I'd rather not call myself a Pennsylvanian. We've been over this.
Yeah, okay, fine. See, that's it. You're putting on airs and things. That's why you say you don't like Hershey's chocolate. Everyone knows Hershey's chocolate is best.
It's passable in a s'more. You're actually sitting down and eating just a bar of Hershey's chocolate.
Yeah, I've got one in each pocket right now.
That's sick. You're a sick freak.
I am, in fact, a mascot. I'm the big Hershey bar.
That explains why I hate those things.
Mascots are weird. Anyway.
Okay, we can agree on that. Okay,
Yeah.
we're back on track.
Sorry, we're doing
back on track. We're friends
doing
again.
our bunny trail thing.
Everything's fine.
Anyway, you are valid to hate the singing. You're not valid to hate Hershey's chocolate, but you are valid to hate the singing in that episode.
Thank you.
And most of all, you are valid to say that the voice is entirely inappropriate for the character and the situation, because, like, if they're supposed to be this ancient race of time skipping, like, goblins, why does she sound like
a modern pop star?
A top 10, modern pop star with the weird, like you did it, the voice, like, the throaty, I don't like it. It's not my
It's
not my
bad.
favorite. I'm sorry, modern pop stars, but I don't like that voice. Please stop doing it.
We don't need Ariana Grande whistle toning in Doctor Who. I'm fine without that.
Anyway. Oh, the only other thing I thought about Atmosphere is that it seems this season is kind of leaning into magical stuff more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it because it's Disney?
Well, I don't know, maybe. For me, I always liked the fact that the Doctor would be like, "Oh, it's not magic. It's science.
Mm-hmm.
It's just science." And
they're the same thing.
Yeah. And, like, in Doctor Who, it is the same thing. But I always liked that, you know, there was always a quote-unquote explanation.
Yeah.
The werewolves and the ghosts and the vampires and...
I did, Laurel, I did too. You know,
but
what?
it feels
in that
like
we are aligned.
Yeah, it feels like they're not necessarily gonna do that this year. Like, the goblins were just goblins.
They were straight up just goblins.
Just goblins with a floating ship that was not aerodynamic.
And they feed on mistakes.
Yeah, they feed on coincidence, which that's not that weird for Doctor Who, but...
Yeah. When you've been out of it for a while, you're like, what?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, what are you smoking?
Yeah, what are you smoking? That ship is not aerodynamic.
No.
Why is it floating? I don't see any hydrogen tanks.
Okay.
The rope language.
Here's my only thing. Like, it's a suspension of disbelief, again,
Yes.
because Doctor Who is just silly.
Mm-hmm.
It's canonically silly. But there were just some moments where it really felt like, you know, when you're playing pretend with your friends, and you are just making up whatever pops into your head.
Okay, that is... Yeah.
You're like, the language! It's ropes! I'm learning rope language! I was like, I'm not...
You gotta yes-and it. You're not allowed to say that's not real.
Yeah, it's like you're playing a really bad game of improv.
Okay. All love to Russell T Davies. I wouldn't have anyone else back in this role. But that is his style of writing. He will just say, this ridiculous thing happened. Why? How?
Yes.
It was because.
And it's like, I probably could have accepted it in a different context, but I think it was too many.
It was a lot of things.
The magical things all together.
Russell
Rope
T Davies
language, goblins, they feed on coincidence and mistakes and things going wrong.
That's what he'll take something ridiculous, nonsensical, magical, fantastic, like not reality, and he'll explain it with something equally ridiculous.
Yes.
Like that's how he does things. He'll be like, oh, why are all these accidents happening? Goblins. Wait, why are there goblins? Coincidence. Why are there coincidences? Magical, weird baby, like, who knows?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And normally I'm okay with that.
There was just a lot in this episode, I feel
like I don't have a lot of trust for everything being well explained. And we're not here to talk about the whole new series, but the episode 72 Yards is in some ways simultaneously the best and worst episode. And I want you to watch it for yourself to see
Okay.
whether you like it. Because I really liked it, and now it's like my least favorite episode of this season.
Okay.
It just really felt disrespectful to the audience. And I don't think that's how the writers meant it, but I just was not impressed with the way they wrapped it up. So, you watch it, tell me what you think.
So it was your favorite until you finished the episode?
Yes, that is correct.
No.
Some people liked it.
Oh man, now I gotta watch it.
Some people liked it. Some people are saying it's
Can I just skip
above
ahead and
beyond.
watch it, or do I have to watch through? Well,
I think you could watch it on your own. The only thing... Yeah, no, I think you could watch it on your own. There might be, like, one line of dialogue you'll be like, huh?
Huh?
But it doesn't
What
really
happened?
matter. Yeah.
Are you ready to talk about Other?
I'm ready,
I
baby.
was gonna say, I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Yes. That was a click code. I learned the language of click code while you were in the bathroom. And I learned it by just staring at this pen, like the doctor did by just staring at some ropes somehow, learning rope language.
It's fine. It's fine. Disrespectful to my suspension of
disrespectful.
disbelief, but
A lot of
whatever.
stuff going on. I do have a few thoughts on Other, but what do you have?
I honestly, my notes were all out of order, so I think I've already covered most of mine.
I definitely covered some of these as well.
I think the only thing I was going to talk about in Other was I really liked the crunchy sound design. I keep saying crunchy for like 9.
I think you mean like
crispy,
what do you
crackly. I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
just like
It's not crunchy.
it's like when you talk about like
It's not gooey.
the tangibility of sound
tactile.
design.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, it just
Yeah.
is so grounded, and, like, the sounds are just kind of satisfying and silly and sci-fi.
Doctor Who, excluding the Jodie seasons, has always been really good about the background music, enhancing all the scenes. I honestly think if you watched the episodes with 9, 10, and 11 without the soundtrack, they would seem way dumber and just like gross and just like
absolutely.
I think they would lose so much character.
Yes. I fully agree.
I think it would just look like awkward grown-ups running around trying to play pretend. I just want to complain about one thing about the new show that I don't like.
Yes, I would love to hear you complain.
And Michelle has heard me complain about this in almost every episode we've watched because it annoys me every time. But
Okay.
the sonic screwdriver is so stupid.
Oh, it's so stupid.
It's so it looks like a Happy Meal toy.
It kind of reminds me of, like, you remember in The Office when they go to Florida and they try and promote, like, the pyramid?
Oh my
like this
word.
new iPad that's shaped like a pyramid. That's what it reminds me of.
It's just so dumb. It looks like the doctor literally took a toy out of a Happy Meal and was like, I could put Sonic in this.
Yeah, it looks like the
hate
phones from iCarly.
Yeah! I mean, okay, I actually don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, that's
Victorious.
the vibe.
Sorry, Victorious.
Yeah,
they
like-
had the pair phones.
That's what, like, the 2000s era, like, technology. That's what it
Yes.
looks like.
Anyway.
You're so right. I hate it. It annoys me. I thought Jodie's was dumb, but this is the worst.
Can I look up a picture of Jodie's?
Look at Jodie's. I didn't like Jodie's at all, but it eventually I was okay with it. Like, I could live with it. But this one is just, it doesn't look like a screwdriver at all.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Isn't it ugly?
It looks like an alien.
Honestly, I'm so glad you said that, because I also said it looks like... That's what I thought it looked
That is...
like. I just thought I was a pervert, but...
No, that is horrific. The first thought I had was that is an alien penis.
I'm so glad that you also think that. See, that's why it took me a long time to warm up to that one. I was just like, I don't like that design.
That is deeply...
Why is it crooked?
I hate that.
Yeah, but I also really hate number 15's sonic screwdriver. It's just, I don't like it at all. Looks like a keychain flashlight or something stupid.
It really does.
Anyway. Okay, so I think the last things that I really want to talk about is just conspiracy theories / things that could be fun in the future. So since I know that there were certain rigid story rules that the writers had to follow when they were writing for primarily the BBC, but now that Disney has fingers in the pie, I thought you'd like that. I wonder if the flavor of the pie will be different. I think it would be really cool. I've been saying this since I started watching Doctor Who, But it would be really fun if they did a companion that wasn't just a young, single British woman. Like, every single time that's what it is. So I think it'd be really fun, maybe, like, to have a companion who's an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that could be really cool. I know it's kind of a big part of the premise of Doctor Who that, like, average person gets whisked away.
Because you said it's part of the escapism.
It's part of the escapism,
like,
but they've already diverged from that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'd be open to it. Or at least, like, have multiple companions.
Yeah.
Old Who used to do that.
Yeah.
So why can't we have the regular working class escapism character and an alien?
Or a 12-year-old.
Or a 12-year-old,
oh,
yeah.
that'd be so fun.
Yeah. Like, when they did that episode where, like, Queen Nefertiti or whoever was also traveling with the Doctor, and, like, some adventure hero from, like,
yes!
They had such a fun dynamic clashing those cultures.
Yes!
Like, he was sexist, she was a queen.
Yes!
Like, it would be so fun to do more of that.
People from different, like, time periods because he's a time traveler.
Instead of just one era, one companion. It's fun to do, like, more.
You know who I really want to see the ultimate crossover?
Yeah.
I want to see the household from What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, my word.
As
totally do
as
that.
The companions.
Oh my word, can you imagine the chaos?
All 5 of them, including Kristen Shale.
They would wreak havoc on the timeline.
Yeah.
The Doctor would just spend his entire time trying to fix the issues they made.
Yeah, and Leslie going, I'm sorry, are we not all going to fuck?
Instead of that, instead of them being the companions, they should be the creatures the Doctor has to stop for the episode.
You are the most devious man in New York City.
So that's one thing I think would be cool. Like, maybe
Very
different
good.
companions from different time periods, companions from, like, maybe aliens. That would be fun. Something else, like, mostly centered around the mystery of Ruby. Like, who is she? Mm-hmm. Is she human? Is she something else? Mm-hmm. Is she, like... I almost feel like they're going to do timeline shenanigans with her. Like, if it turned out the woman who drops her off is herself.
I was wondering that.
I wouldn't be surprised, because, yeah, I don't know. Like, is she the one who leaves herself at the orphanage or at the church? I don't know. Or if she turned out to be a villain would be interesting.
Oh, it'd be so good.
It would be very different from anything Doctor Who has done before. So
yeah.
It could be fun. Or, so, I didn't even notice this, but I'm oblivious. But apparently there's been an old woman who appears in every single episode of the new show. You wouldn't notice because you've only seen probably the first...
It's not the lady in the first episode that's...
Yeah, like the neighbor. She apparently appears in every episode somewhere. So it could be interesting.
I actually love that because, like,
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of an interesting thing. Where
it was a weird character.
Where she was like...
She was acting very know-it-all.
Like, what?
She was
never seen a TARDIS before?
Yeah, she
like,
was acting very like she knew too much.
Like,
so either it'd be interesting if she's Ruby or if she's Ruby's mom. I don't know. Or something.
Yeah.
Or like an embodiment of like the TARDIS, or I don't know, something weird. Yeah, I don't know.
Now you're
just
making me want to watch more, Laurel.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of fun because he's taken like the humor of Russell T Davies' writing, and he's combined it a little bit with like some of the conspiracy threads, which he's done that before, but I always more associated that with the Moffat era because he was really good with like interweaving stuff. So I don't know. It's fun. It's good. It still lacks a little bit of the heart of the first show, and I'm not sure why or where.
It's too polished.
It's too polished. You might be right. And it might just be that it's too ungainly of a machine now.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost too big.
Too big. The world's too big. Modern audiences have different sensibilities and, like, values and
it's
cultural fears than they did in the early 2000s.
Because as much as I love, like, Nine's first episode, if you tried to release that now with the remake, it would be eaten alive.
Yes.
Yeah. But the most recent episode I watched is probably the one I liked most. It was called Dot and Bubble or something. That one's really good. And the one with the maestro is really good. So those were both really enjoyable. Dot and Bubble is my favorite.
I guess I'm going to have to keep watching, Laurel.
Dot and Bubble, I loved it the whole way through. And then at the end, it has this moment that's just like... didn't see coming.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
So absolutely recommend, even if you just watch one episode, I would recommend Dot and Bubble.
Okay. And then the
It's
other
just
one
a
you
good
told
one.
me that you wanted my opinion on.
Yes, yeah. I'm recommending that one with the caveat that I didn't like the ending.
Perfect.
72 yards.
72 yards.
Yeah. I feel like with Chibnall's era of writing, like Jodie Foster, and even a little bit what it is now, it's less Doctor Who and more Black Mirror.
Yeah,
And
which could be a good thing. That could be a very smart way to adapt it for a modern audience by making it more
I don't
Black
like
Mirror.
it as much.
Yeah.
I think that's what Chibnall did wrong. I think he was just writing for a different show.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Doctor Who was what he thought it was. I think his image of Doctor Who and the fans' image were different.
Yeah.
Because Chibnall is clearly a very good writer.
Yes.
Just not for Doctor Who, or at least not for that version of Doctor Who that he was writing.
Yes.
But by the time maybe he figured it out, it was too late to course correct. Unfortunately.
And just like Abrams and
Ryan
Johnson.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to write something weird, like weird sci-fi. I think he got excited about that concept. And what's really the fun of Doctor Who is the characters and the silliness.
Yes.
It doesn't need to be cool sci-fi. In fact, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. Because it's not cool. It's not cool sci-fi.
It's not a cool sci-fi show.
Great big ball of wibbly wobbly, tiny
it's nonsense
stuff.
It's nonsense, and it's Christmas, and it's silliness, and it's just childish glee. The Doctor is essentially a child with serious issues.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? But I really don't think I have much else to say. How about you?
I think that just brings us to, does 9 pass and does 15 pass?
All right, are we doing like a cut their throats versus they live kind of thing?
Yeah, okay, ready? 9.
He lives! All right.
And 15.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you also think it passes.
Yeah, I would say a pass for both.
I was really excited. I was like, oh, it's not perfect,
but
it feels like a return.
It feels like home.
It feels like home. The music is back. The Doctor is back. Like, the humor,
and who knows where it's gonna go next.
It's still not as funny, maybe, but it's funny.
Yes.
And the world just seems a little brighter.
And on that note, thank you everyone for joining us. Get excited because next episode we will be talking about the lock of Super Who Lock. We will be talking Sherlock next week.
Woo!
So be sure to tune in. Sorry, next week. Next episode. So be sure to tune in to the next episode. And as always, thank you for joining us. And keep it feral. Thank you for listening to another episode of Effing It Up. If you're enjoying these episodes, please like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram at _effingitup_ or on our YouTube channel where we post the video format of our show. If you have content that you want us to cover, we want to hear about it. Feel free to DM us on Instagram or leave us a comment on our YouTube channel. Thank you again.